Hello chess lovers, Soren here, and I have another fantastic game for you. With the white piece is playing Magnus Carlsen and his opponent is Sampsa Nyysti from Finland. This game was played in 2002 in Helsinki. At the time of this game, Carlsen was 11 years 6 months old with 2163 rating. His opponent's rating was higher, 2242. Now let's see what happened on the board. Carlsen had white pieces and he started with e4, e5 by Nyysti, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6. We see the 4 knights game, which usually leads to quiet positional play, though there are some sharp variations. Here the main moves are bishop b5 or d4, but Carlsen went for this quiet and waiting a3 move. Gunsberg variation. Black responded with g6, and believe it or not, but in this position Carlsen went for this hyper aggressive knight takes e5 move. Look at this knight sacrifice. This looks like a Halloween gambit, though the pure Halloween gambit arises after knight f6, where white is capturing on e5 and then is starting to push forward his pawns, thus trying to seize the center with his pawns and driving the black knights back to their home squares. For those who do not know, the name Halloween Gambit was given by the German player Stefan Jacob, who explained that many players are shocked the way they would be frightened by a Halloween mask when they are mentally prepared for a boring 4 knights and then they are forced with knight takes e5. Let's go back, but in our main game we see knight takes e5 only after g6. The correctness of the variation is not the main thing. White gets a lasting initiative and that is most important. Knight takes e5 was played, d4, knight c6, d5, and the knight retreats back on its initial square. Well, if a move like knight e5, then white can go for f4 and then play e5. If queen e7, then bishop e2. Right now both knights are hanging. If d6, then it takes f6, knight takes f6. White has a slight advantage. Let's go back, but according to modern engines, after d5 the best move is bishop g7, giving up the won material, after which black is getting better chances rather than playing knight b8 after d5. Now comes e5. Carlsen is also kicking back the second knight. Look at this. This is move 8 and still all black pieces are on their initial squares. And another pawn march, this time d6. Now this pawn on the 6th rank will demoralize black's army. Queen f6 and knight b5. Carlsen is both protecting the pawn and also there are some knight c7 threats. Knight a6, bishop c4, bishop h6, queen e2 check, king f8, bishop e3. We see the exchange of bishops on e3 square. Carlsen recaptured with the f pawn and now this rook will also join the attack. Queen h4 check, g3, queen h5. Black is offering an exchange of queens and that's logical because black is a piece up. Black wants to simplify the position as soon as possible. Queen f2, already there is a mating thread. Queen f5, queen e2, queen h5. Here the players repeated the moves and after queen e2, of course now queen h5 leads to a threefold repetition, but Sampsa Nyysti decided to try his luck and played knight h6. Now he will try to play for a win. Rook f1, queen h5. Again we see a repetition of moves, queen f5, queen e2, and instead of again bringing the queen on h5 square, black risked and played queen e5, which actually gives white a huge advantage. Here Carlsen castled queenside and already this rook is going to jump on d5 square and black is in a very terrible position. King g7 was played, rook d5, queen e8. Look at this position, guys. This is a total domination. White pieces are ready to kill black king while black pieces are placed tragically. Queen d2. The queen is coming to join the attack from the long diagonal. Rook f8, queen d4 check, f6. Now comes the g pawn. g4, g5 is the threat. b6. Black is trying to develop his pieces, but it turns out that it's too late. g5 is on the board. knight f5, g takes f6 check, rook takes f6, and now you can pause the video and try to find Carlsen's next move. Ready? In this position, the rising star went for rook takes f5. Look at this amazing exchange sacrifice. By sacrificing the rook, white is managing to open up the g file, and this is going to end tragically for black. Rook g1 check. By the way, instead of rook g1 check, rook takes f5 is also winning, and then rook f4. Though after g takes f5, rook g1 check is the best move, because with this move white is managing to win black queen. King takes g6, bishop d5, rook b8. Now comes e4. White wants to get rid of the pawn on f5 and make black king more vulnerable. Bishop b7, he takes f5 check, rook takes f5, queen g4 check, king f6, queen h4 check, king g6, bishop c4, the threat is bishop d3, knight c5, b4, trying to lure away the knight, knight e4 was played, knight c7, and a blunder by Sampsa Nyysti, knight takes d6, which is losing on the spot. Though if it weren't the knight takes d6 move, again black's position is lost, but after knight takes d6, Carlsen went for queen g3 check and black resigned. Black will lose his knight as well, and there is no chance to survive. A very impressive game, I think, by 11-year-old Magnus Carlsen. In the opening, Carlsen went for that risky knight takes e5 move, got a pretty decent position, though in the middle game black could have drawn the game with the help of a repetition, but as black was a piece up and also a higher rated player, overestimated his chances, tried to go for a win, but that was a wrong decision and he got punished by Magnus Carlsen. Thanks for watching. Here are more suggestions for you. For more games, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also press that bell button to get notified about new uploads. I will see you in the next video.